For about half a year, I've been waiting excitedly for The Outer Wilds to release on Steam to finally play it. I watched a YouTube video from Rasputin on the game, and when I heard the premise, I was hooked. You're an astronaut stuck in a time loop trying to figure out why the sun is exploding. In Raz's video, he talks about how the game taught him not to overburden himself with the pressure of the future and to give yourself time. Time to live in the present, day by day. I had a similar experience recently when I was in university. I focused on the end result of getting good grades so much that I ended up thinking any action or day spent that wasn't in service of this goal was a waste. This led me to constantly be worried and anxious about not doing schoolwork to the point of inaction. Eventually, for the sake of my mental health, I stopped caring so much about my grades. I focused more on being present, more about learning day by day and hoping that good grades would follow. After watching his video and seeing the Outer Wilds help Raz with an experience similar to mine, I knew I wanted to play it, and I didn't know how much of an impact it would have on me. During the COVID-19 lockdown of 2020, I felt relatively unaffected, giving me time to reflect on emotions that have been brewing inside of me since I've graduated. Particularly the feeling that I'm falling behind on life, that I won't end up in the careers I want, and that I won't have a great future. I felt that lockdown was the perfect time to hone some of my skills, creatively by practicing my video editing, or academics-wise by pursuing an online master's degree. The thing is though, I tend to get anxious thinking about all the things I want to accomplish. My thoughts change from I want to accomplish my goals to I won't ever accomplish my goals, and I give up on trying. For a couple of months I was stuck in a rut, thinking about what I want to do and never acting on it. While I previously overcame thoughts of the future overwhelming me, this time I couldn't. I came to the conclusion that getting a perfect grade isn't a big deal to me, but succeeding in a creative career or one in mental health is one of my greatest desires right now. These goals feel like they're part of my identity. They're ideas I've held on to for the past 7 years, and I felt like they were unreachable. I could not break free from thinking that there's no point in starting because my goals are too far away. Like being lost in a maze, I searched for a way out. I hit many dead ends and sometimes undid my progress. There is a way out though. Eventually, someday, I would find the determination I needed. Right? Therapy is a pretty good option here. Like a guide, it can help navigate through all the fine details of my thoughts and feelings. But at this time, I didn't feel like I was ready to go back to therapy, emotionally or financially. I bring this up because while in this video, I want to talk about how a video game helped me out with this tough time mentally, I don't want to imply that a video game is a replacement for therapy. While strong media such as video games, music, or books can influence your life, they don't necessarily solve your problems. That's something you do. And my past experience with counseling has given me a better understanding of my thoughts, their causes, and how to restructure and deal with them. Therapy deepened my understanding of myself, and gave me a greater ability to solve my problems than before. I took the things that Outer Wilds gave to me and used them with my understanding of myself, and combined together I found a way out of the maze. Now let me tell you about the Outer Wilds, and how it helped me with my anxious thoughts. The game begins with you waking up, looking at space, in your hometown on Timber Hearth. This town has an astronaut program called the Outer Wild Ventures, and today is the beginning of your journey, your first voyage into space, following in the footsteps of the other astronauts who are out there exploring the mysteries of the solar system. For most of this journey, you're investigating the ruins of the civilization that inhabited this star system before you, the Nomai. When I took a look at the map for the solar system and saw there were only 4 other planets besides my own, I felt a bit disappointed. I thought there would be a huge universe to explore, and now I thought I could burn through this game in a night. But I was so insanely wrong. That feels like a really stupid thought in hindsight. I can't put into words how small but large the solar system actually is. The planets sometimes feel tiny because they're fast to traverse around but are so dense with detail once you start exploring. For example, the first planet I visited was Brittle Hollow. It's a mostly hollow planet with a black hole at its center and a brittle surface that is slowly being destroyed by the active volcano moon that orbits the planet. As you explore the planet, you find that the Nomai built shelters under the surface in that little hollow space. Then they made gravity stabilizers to let them walk on the underside of the crust. Then they figured out how to use the black hole at its center to create warp technology. And that's just the basic rundown. There's still more secrets and details to find out here, but you might need information from another planet to help guide you. The Nomai created an ecosystem across the solar system, so no one location can tell a full tale. As I explored the ruins on my journey, one thing was clear. The Nomai had a collective goal they were working towards. They arrived in the solar system in search of a signal they called the Eye of the Universe. It's not clear what this is, but the Nomai believed it to be older than the universe itself. This faction of Nomai have dedicated their lives in pursuit of locating the Eye. Due to watching Rasputin's video "You Can't Save the Galaxy in a Day," I thought the goal was clear. Search the ruins and find the Eye. And then, save the universe. So I continued onwards, searching the planets determined to stop the sun from exploding. It was quite the journey I had. Learning to fly the ship at first was pretty hard. You actually have to adjust the ship correctly and fly at the appropriate speeds, or you'll smash into things and break the ship. Which I did a lot. One time I thought I repaired everything on my ship but left the fuel tank damaged. When I returned to leave, I had no more fuel. Another time I broke the gravity stabilizer in my ship. This meant that while traversing space, there was no gravity inside of my ship. I set the ship to autopilot and unbuckled my seatbelt, while it accelerated. This slammed me into the back of the ship. And then when the ship arrived, it hit the brakes, slamming me into the window and killing me. That wasn't my only blunder with the autopilot either. One time I set the autopilot to a planet that was on the other side of the sun. And of course it sent me straight into the sun. When I wasn't crashing my ship or dying, I was filled with a sense of wonder exploring and solving puzzles. There were times in the world where I would see something interesting and think, how the hell do I get over there? Whenever I figured out something or stumbled into a new area by accident, I was filled with an indescribable emotion. It felt like the first time I saw the skyline of my home city, Toronto. Compared to other skylines, it's not that impressive at all. But nonetheless, seeing the skyline for the first time produces a special feeling. It's like I'm back in 3rd grade on the playground, winded by a soccer ball. Fun memories aside, as I explored, I noticed multiple tells that would describe to me how much time was left until the end of the cycle. There's the amount of damage Brittle Hollow takes, an hourglass of sand that pours between 2 planets, the sun expanding and getting really red, and something a bit more subtle. As you gaze out to the other stars in the universe, you see them go out. Maybe these things were supposed to make me feel anxious and rushed, but I felt like everything was okay. Despite all the signs telling me the universe is ending, the game retains a very relaxed atmosphere. Anytime I needed to take a breather, I would talk to some of the other astronauts about my findings. They were always playing a really calming melody that I can hear from anywhere due to this device called the signal scope. Across the large amounts of emptiness in space, I could never feel alone. There's no reason for me to ever panic about things ending, especially with the ability to time loop. I would always have a chance to continue where I left off. I could still explore and find the secret to save the universe. It was only a matter of time before I did. As I got close to the end of the game, I found the coordinates to the Eye of the Universe, but the only ship with the ability to travel had no power. The power source was located in one of the last places I discovered, and it explained how the time loop worked. As I read the messages inside this hidden chamber, after about 13 hours of playing, I was coming to the realization that there was no saving the universe. The messages inside revealed that there were only two possible reasons for the sun exploding. Either the Nomai forced it to happen, which they failed to do, or it happened naturally. Up until the last moment, I denied that this was just the natural course of things. I wanted to believe so badly that I could change everything, that I denied this thought even when it was presented in my face a few times. I'd only just become an astronaut today. There is still so much I wanted to explore. But this game isn't about me. If you sit in your hometown and do nothing, the sun still explodes. If you search for a solution, the sun still explodes. If you try to leave the solar system, the sun still explodes. No matter how hard I try, I can't stop the heat death of the universe. The world of the Outer Wilds will move on with or without you. And with that, I had a brief thought. What was the point of all my searching if I can't stop this? While exploring some ruins earlier, there was some writing left behind from a Nomai that really stuck with me. She wrote that her people attributed meaning to picking up the signal of the eye, that the eye might have been calling them to the solar system with this signal, and because of that they even built shrines for the eye. She goes on to say that the eye might have not been calling out to anyone at all, and that the signal holds no great deep meaning, and that that's okay. When thinking about this, I thought, if the eye didn't exist, would that make everything that Nomai did meaningless? I could never think for a second that the journey the Nomai were on was meaningless. Instead, they gave the eye meaning in their search for it. They created bonds by working together, as evidenced in all the texts they left behind. They built cities, satellites, a sun station, and even the ability to time loop. After experiencing their journey on a secondhand account, it meant something to me. They were curious souls searching for the eye of the universe, and I was a curious astronaut trying to save the stars. In the end, they never found the eye, and I will never save the universe. But I know that our journeys have meaning because we gave it meaning. And before everything ends, I just want to see the eye. That's enough for me. I snatched the power source for the time loop and used it to travel to the eye of the universe. Inside the eye, I heard the other travelers and their tune one last time. This tune reminded me of home and of my journey. As I said before, no matter where I was in the solar system, I was always connected to the other travelers. All I had to do was listen and I would hear them. Their song comforted me inside of the darkness of the eye, and it made me realize even though everything is about to end, it's okay. This was never about saving the universe. It was about my journey. Taking the first steps, leaving home to explore my own interests, failing a few times but trying again, constantly learning and improving my skills. Every time the world ended, it was a new day for me. There were new things to learn and new experiences to have. I can think back to a lot of special moments on my journey. While exploring Brittle Hollow, a piece of falling debris knocked me out of the air, sending me plummeting into the black hole, only to be surprised when I was spit out on the other end of the solar system. On the Ember Twins, I came upon a maze of cacti and told myself, yeah, no problem, I can maneuver through this, only to be torn to shreds in the next couple of seconds. On Giant's Deep, a tornado launched the island I was on into space, and my ship onto a higher part of the island. It was only when I came back down that I realized the gravity was too heavy for me to get back to my ship. I talked to the astronaut there named Gabbro, and he taught me how to meditate, and together we waited for the end. My journey in the Outer Wilds was completely unique to me, and that's what made it so special. So what if it was all destined to end? There's just so much joy and beauty to find in all the little moments in my journey, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Once again, during lockdown, not much changed for me. About halfway through my second year in university, I started to spend most of my time confined in my own room. I only started going out more when I graduated last year. With quarantine, most nights were like this. I came home from work, I would turn on my lights, and I would lay in bed. So yeah, after work I would come home and think. I'd lay here for like an hour or two and I would just think about all the things I wanted to do and, would never do them. Thinking about streaming, playing games, editing, school. I would also think a lot about, some of my other friends because I go on social media too much and I'd see them succeeding, which is a good thing. I'm happy for a lot of my friends who are doing the things they want to do. It's crazy. Like, I've seen so many creative ventures I've all of a sudden during this pandemic, and I'm really happy for them. But sometimes it's hard for me to be happy. I get jealous and I think, man, I wanted to create something. I wanted to start a business. I just wanted to do something that was me, and I haven't been able to do that. And I get really jealous and I don't want to be, and I get really angry and I don't want to be. And it's angry because I'm not doing anything. I want to be moving forward, but I'm not. Especially, when it comes to school. I thought after an undergrad, master's 2 years, no problem, but part of me is afraid of going back to school. I think, can I even complete another 2 years? If I do, would I even be good at being a social worker, a psychologist? Could I care for people right? Would I fuck up? Would I even get hired? The more I think about that, the more I lose confidence in myself. And I'm always thinking about the end. I'm never thinking about the steps in between. Even when it comes to editors, I played around and I've edited, some Twitch highlights for fun of a streamer. But then I look at streamers who are getting paid, who are making money, who are editing for big YouTubers, and compare myself because I'm not there. And if I'm not there, that's a problem because I want to do that. But I'm nowhere near as good. These guys, they're editing every day. They're like going at it all the time, but sometimes I don't want to use my spare time for that. So I feel like I will never catch up. So why bother? Why bother pursuing being a better editor when I can't be the best? And that's pretty much how it goes for like all my creative interests. Thought about drawing, see digital artists. Why bother? Digital artists, with awesome, amazing work. And I think, why bother? I'll never catch up. I'm always comparing to somebody who is not even at their end. They're still on their own journey. They're still improving. But I'm always comparing to people who I perceive as being further ahead. And I just get scared to try. I've thought for a long time, am I scared? Because I think that I'm not. I feel like I'm not afraid to try, but why won't I try every day? I think I'm not afraid to try, but if it's the future, if it's me not being at the end that I'm so afraid of that I won't try, then I am scared. I am scared that I won't get a job. I am scared that I won't be hired even after all my work. I am scared even if I put out my own projects that they won't get the attention that I want them to get. I am scared that no matter how much I stream for, I'll never kind of get the audience or bouncing off ideas of people that I want. That was a weird way to word it. I want to bounce off of other people like in a lot of Twitch streams, and I'm afraid I'll never get that because, no matter how hard you try, there is some amount of luck when it comes to creative stuff, but you still have to try. You still have to keep going. I have to stop being afraid. And after I played the Outer Wilds in June, because of COVID, I had a lot of time to come home and think, I thought every night, and after playing the Outer Wilds, I was really motivated to put something out again. I was motivated to learn, to try again, to try every single day. I have a Discord that I talk to with friends, and pretty much every single day. And I think at the beginning of August, I typed in the chat, like, today is the beginning. And, that wasn't for anyone specific. It was just for me to tell myself that, and to my friends that, this is me. I'm starting now. I'm starting the next chapter, maybe. I'm starting to move forward. I'm starting to move forward. I like that. I'm gonna start doing things every day is what I told myself. Just one little thing. Maybe it's a run of Hades. Maybe it's 30 minutes of just watching my favorite streamer. I want to do something I really care about every day. And I want to try and learn every day a little bit of something. So I started learning After Effects. And I did a lot of After Effects work in this video because of that. I spent so much time, just taking things step by step. And because I appreciated things more of going slow and step by step and just trying to take things day by day, I made a video again. It's almost been 2 years since I made one. Since I got past voicing a script. It's crazy. The motivation I've found from this. The Outer Wilds just came to me at the perfect time, and it's really helped me want to move forward because I've been reminded, that it's about the journey, not the destination. There's lots of cool things I'm learning in between. There's lots more things I have to talk about with my friends, and I'm excited to share. And, I have friends who are excited to hear me, and it makes me really happy that I'm able to just get this support on, the journey I'm on, even though, it's not a huge one or anything, Whoa, I edited a few things in After Effects for the first time. Not a huge deal, but it's a step to a new JM. And I'm excited because this video is actually coming out. It's something I've made, and it's here. Because, it's like I'm in space right now in the Outer Wilds. I can travel in an infinite number of directions right now. I have so many choices and doors open to me that I have to keep going and trying. Because every day, I take one step further to ending up in the place that I want to be at. And I hope that'll make me happy in the end. But I guess I'm not good at closing things out. So thanks for watching this video and listening to my thoughts. I really appreciate it.